final session today, it's all about reimagining marketing in the startup world. As we know, content is essential for engaging audiences, driving startup growth, and establishing a lasting market presence. This panel will explore how startups can redefine their content strategies to connect with modern consumers through authenticity, a consistent brand voice, and innovative approaches. Please welcome our distinguished panelists. Apple Esplana Manansala is a prominent advocate of digital for good and the president of the New Channel Media Corp, an alternative media publication launched during the pandemic. She's also known for her community work empowering women entrepreneurs and MSMEs globally. Enna Igual is a seasoned marketing leader and co-founder of InCircle, a leading influencer marketing agency. With a background in brand building and digital transformation, she has successfully launched various marketing initiatives with top brands like Grab and Spotify Southeast Asia. Carlo Ople is a digital marketing expert and founder of Unbox.ph, one of the Philippines' top tech content platforms. He's also known for his work in digital transformation, e-commerce, and content creation, and is a respected mentor and advocate in digital economy. Our moderator, Clary Herrera, is the founder of Agenix, a digital growth agency that leverages data-driven SEO and content marketing to drive success for tech companies. His previous work spans to the US, UK, Australia, and the Philippines, where he's led high-impact marketing campaigns. Let's give a warm welcome to Apple, Enna, Carlo, and Clary as they take us through the exciting world of marketing in the startup space, sharing insights on how to create impactful, authentic content strategies that resonate with today's consumers.
All right, thank you so much for that introduction. And I know it's been a long day, but for the next 40 minutes, I think we'll have a very interesting panel discussion. Why? Because every business needs to have the right marketing, right? No? And as we know, content plays a very crucial role in shaping the perception of our audiences throughout their path to purchase. So now, here on stage, 3 of the top content marketing experts in the country to share to us some actionable strategies for startups that they can use to generate growth for their businesses. And second, they'll also be sharing to us their insights on what they think the future of marketing is. So without further ado, let's have our first question for our panels. Could you guys quickly introduce yourselves, your background, and share to us how you have leveraged effective content marketing to generate growth for your businesses or for your clients?
Hi, good afternoon. Are you still here? I'm Apple, very easy to remember, don't forget. So I'm the Chief Executive Producer and President of the New Channel. It's a social media platform, started as a live stream channel, and right now all of you are live on our channel and also at Philippine Startup Week page on Facebook, on YouTube, and also on our website. So basically we started the New Channel because during the time of pandemic, there were a lot of people looking for partners for the content that they want to create online. The business grew on me because it ignited something, which is my passion. And I'm here today because not just to share with you what I think is right in content creation or in marketing, but I'm here to learn also from the people that I'm going to be meeting, and to also immerse myself into the startup community. And with that, I believe that I will be able to continue what I've always been, what has been ignited to me, which is to be the voice of those who are voiceless and to be the catalyst for change. So I hope that throughout the conversation, I will be able to impart to you something towards that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Apple. Very purpose-driven. Let's now have Ina.
Hi everyone. My name is Enna. So I'm one of the co-founders of InCircle. InCircle is actually one of the first, and I would like to think one of the fastest growing influencer marketing agency here in the Philippines. And what we do is really we work with different brands from Nestle to Grab to Spotify to Huawei and different other retail and consumer brands to really connect them, I would say, to where their consumers are at nowadays. So for us in Encircle, we believe now that really the battleground for brands is on social media. And, the main talking piece there are really content creators, key opinion leaders, or what we know as influencers. So in Encircle, we believe that, it's not about just what brands tell consumer, who they are, what they do, and what they're all about, but it's actually what consumers tell each other what the brand is. And we are really here to sort of like help drive that conversations between important stakeholders in the ecosystem. So that's brands, content creators like Carlo here, and at the same time, agencies like us. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Anna. Let's now have Carlo.
Hi, so I'm Carlo. So I had a 16, 17-year career in corporate before becoming a full-time entrepreneur. So my last role, I was Vice President for Marketing for PLDT. So shout out sa mga ka-MVP group na nandyan, kung meron man. Hello mga kapatid, kamusta na kayo? I left corporate because while I was working, I put up several businesses on the side. And we were able to bootstrap it all the way up to, I think revenue namin last year was around 4 or 5 million US. So that's already bootstrapped with no investors from the outside. So it's mostly media companies. So it's mostly like content sites, as well as we have our little digital production shop. And because of that, I was finally able to retire and just go full-time doing entrepreneurship and playing cards. So ang slash ko sa LinkedIn ko, entrepreneur/professional TCG player. So, so yun yung nakalagay sa akin. So yun ang so that's me in a nutshell.
Right, thank you. I think we have a very good mix of expertise here this afternoon in this panel. But I think in terms of any marketing campaign, it's always hard to launch from scratch, right? Especially for startups if you have limited budgets. So I want to pick your brains, guys. What do you think are some actionable strategies that startups could leverage, including content marketing, with limited budget? So let's start perhaps with Carlo.
So siguro one, you have to do the content yourself and learn content by yourself. Kasi it's hard to, if you'll always outsource and you don't know how to do it yourself, then you won't be able to know if you're being overcharged, you don't know what the best practices are, and parang doing content should be second nature to any business. Kasi to be honest, that's the lifeblood of business today, diba? The more eyeballs you get on you, the more revenue you're able to generate. So for example, it's fortunate for us na kami, talagang content yung negosyo namin. So we have our own studio, we pump out on a daily basis across all the media assets that we have, siguro roughly 40 to 50 reels every day, on top of all the posts and the articles that we write. That's just for the media assets that I own. Diba? So yun pa lang yun. Wala pa dun yung for the clients that we service and we provide content for. But having the capability to do content fast, learning what are the different mechanisms and tools of platforms, and evolving at the speed of, I guess, the future. Diba? Ano yung sabi nila, to be successful, you have to live in the future. Parang ganun. Diba? Parang may nabasa akong ganun. That's so true kasi, for example, diba, search engine optimization was such a big thing. Then it became social optimization kasi people were searching na on social, not just on search. Now, the big thing now is AI optimization. Kasi if you go to Google and if you go to even social, if you do search results, AI na yung parang summary na nung actual review. For example, if you type iPhone 16 review, hindi na links na mga websites. It's a condensed AI review. Diba?
AI overview for Google search.
Correct.
Yes.
That's linked to several articles. So if you're a content creator, you have to make sure, shucks, how do I come out there? Or if you're a brand, how do you make sure that the articles that are coming out of that AI article or summary are good to you? So parang ganon. So,
right. Before we move on to Ed, I think I have a quick follow-up lang for Carlo. No? And what he mentioned about founders needing to learn to create content ourselves, that's very important. Even myself, medyo hindi ako ganun ka ka-experience in terms of facing the camera. But do you have any suggestions or any strategies that you can recommend to founders na hindi ganon ka-komportable creating content? Are there any baby steps that you could recommend to them?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be your face on the camera. I mean, you can hire someone to talk in front of the camera as long as the content has values. For example, one of our businesses is yun nga, content marketing for brands, di ba? So, yung ginawa namin, we commission several studies every year. And yung results ng studies na yun yung content namin for our socials, yun yung content for the newsletters, yun yung content for PR or whatever, kasi that content is our property. For example, the last study we did was what's the impact of influencers on the purchase behavior of millennials, Gen X, and Gen Z. So that's a commissioned study by us. Tas yung laman ng study na yun yung ginagawa naming infographics, di ba? Yun yung ginagawa namin pang interview, pag kailangan kami interviewin, sandamakmak na reels yung nagawa namin from that. But it's constantly thinking of activities and marketing efforts that you can create content about to be able to generate revenue.
Gotcha. Later on, we'll circle back about changes on the platforms and where consumers consume content. No? But let's move on muna to Anna. And then you have any strategies that you could recommend to our startup founders here in our audience today?
Yeah, I think it's important for startup founders to really remember that, you know, for the young generation of today, social media really is the new Google, right? For the Gen Zs, for the millennials, and now even, you know, like the older generation, if they want to look for a new recipe, if they're looking for reviews on a new product, then they'd probably go on TikTok now or Instagram Reels and really look at, you know, what people are talking about around that topic or around that passion point. So agree with Carlo. If you are a startup founder, you're working with a limited budget, really try to consider your brand as a content creator. Right? So you create your content yourself, and through that kind of process, you would also be able to sort of like test and learn. What are the things that are working for my brand? What are the type of content that are relevant to my audience and creates, you know, the highest engagement among all of the things that I'm doing? And there, parang you'll be able to be, you know, more strategic in where you place your money in the future once you have it, right? And I think it's a very important as well, like, once you get that brand voice in, once you're able to sort of like find out what type of content your audience wants to see, is nurture a community. So it's important for you guys to really, you know, look at creating fan ambassadors. So in Encircle, that's also something that we really believe. We actually have an investment offshoot now, which is Hey Rumi. It's a virtual HQ for communities, for fans, for hobbyists. You know, you get to sort of like converse and engage with each other and talk about topics that you guys like the most. So that is something that we believe in. It's not about parang just working with celebrities or mega influencers, for example, but now you're going grassroots, where the conversations are happening, and from there you can really you can fine tune your marketing strategies and, you know, investments.
Right. I just have one follow-up question about what you've mentioned, and it's very important for us to understand the trends that are happening right now. Especially, for example, before, whenever we travel, we usually use Google to research about the places that pwede kong puntahan. Now, what we've been seeing, at
TikTok
least
na.
my girlfriend, she always go to TikTok and look at the short form content.
Yes.
So, as a marketer and as business owners, how do we find the right format and the right channel for us to focus on based on our target audiences? Any recommendations or strategies that you guys could share?
Yeah, I guess that's where really AI tools come into play. You know, AI tools nowadays can really help us sort of like pinpoint where the conversations are happening, right? So for example, you know, now we're working with, let's say, MessyNet, to really map out where the conversations are happening, you know, whether it's in Facebook, it's on TikTok. A lot of our brands are always asking us, you know, where should we be present at? Because there's just so many. You have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Reddit, you have Twitter. And for startups, you don't have like endless amount of budget, right? So that's where you can utilize different AI tools present in the market to fine-tune your marketing strategies and invest on those platform and channels where your audience are at. And I think that's where you sort of like go back to knowing your audience at heart. Because when you know your audience at heart, then, you know, you're able to really see, okay, what AI tool should I use to map out these conversations? Is this relevant to my brand? Is it relevant to my audience? So those are the type of questions that you as a founder should be asking when, you know, looking at where to place content in. And I think in terms of content format, short form content is the, you know, it's really what's working today. So we're keeping our content, let's say, you know, 30 seconds, 60 seconds max, because the attention span of people are just, you know, getting shorter and shorter. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I think it all goes back to the basics. Really understanding your customer and how they go through each of the stages of their path to purchase, right? So that's a very interesting point, Anna. Let's just move forward to Apple. Apple, any recommendations, strategies that you share?
Hard naman to answer. Kasi they said it all already. But what else can I add? I think with limited budget, we're talking about resources, right? But to me kasi, when we started the new channel, it was the time of pandemic. So who would have thought, diba, that we will still be surviving as a live stream channel? Question, may kilala pa ba kayong live stream channel na nagsimula nung pandemic na buhay pa ngayon? So, the new channel na lang yata, no? So pinaninindigan namin. But I think that's really what I intend to tell you. With limited resources, it doesn't mean that it's just limited to your money. So sometimes the bigger problem is the limited resources in terms of ideas. So I think that's what I was able to validate for myself, and I was really able to see also, develop or evolve through the new channel. So for starting out as an online live stream channel, where you see so much potential, because you don't limit yourself just identifying or defining resources as money all the time. Then you look at resources somewhere else. Like, do you have a lot of connections? Because that's a bigger resource that you have. And that's actually a bigger investment that you can also make. So if you don't have that yet, then create more. Be part of organizations. Be involved in different events or activities that really make sense to you. And I think one thing also to connect to you being long, you look at whatever it is that you have long term. For example, if you're just gonna look at whatever sources you have and that's just gonna last you for 1 to 6 months. I've been in the business of business process outsourcing with my husband for the past almost 12 years. So I should tell you, it's not easy to become an entrepreneur, especially if you're not starting out with investors. So if you invest on this, it's more yourself and your time and your personal resources that you really invest. So I won't really say na limited yon for all of us, because if you give that 100%, even if you don't have money as a startup, diba, the idea is actually your 100% resources. So that's actually already a lot. Now just try to understand, when you're creating something, and then so that you see that not as a limitation, you try to look at it as something that as simple as, okay, is this something that I still want to do in the next 5-10 years in my life? Or at least in my case, because I was an accidental member of the business process outsourcing, which my husband was starting out more than a decade ago, you just look and see how you will fit in, and then you see how you will develop yourself into that as well. And so when you look at something, even with any limitation as long-term, so isipin mo, will you still be proud doing whatever startup you're doing right now in 10 years' time? If you want to build your family, is this something that your kids, your grandkids will be proud that you were part of? So if you are, then I think whether you have money or no money, that's resourceful. So that's 100% for you to proceed. Otherwise, if not, then go back to your idea board and then try to look for something that will make sense for you long term.
Can I add something lang? Here's one practical tip. Kumuha kayo ng co-founder na content creator who really believes in the business. So for example ako, lahat ng negosyong pinasok ko, mas madaling i-launch. Kasi I have a YouTube channel of 800,000 subscribers. I have an IG with like 200-something thousand. Twitter, etc., etc. So every time I get into a business, every time I invest in a business, I just funnel everything to the follower base that I have. So be it merchandise from the shirts that we make or the shops that we put up, the retail, from the coffee shop to the barber shop, at gusto ko na nga magtayo ng laundry shop eh. So, basta lahat na lang na negosyong
Water
pinasok ko.
stationing next
Hindi kasi, promise, ang daling mag-funnel ng kinyari, pangarap ko nung bata ko, magtayo ng barbershop. Di ba? Napaka-digital, pero barbershop lang pala pangarap sa buhay. So, nagtayo kami ng barbershop sa tabi ng Unbox Green Hills. And ang ginawa ko lang, to market it, talagang pag nagpapagupit lang ako, selfie ka lang before and after. Tapos minsan in-interview ko yung barber namin, bakit ganito yung gusto mong gupit para sa akin? Dahil daw mataba yung face ko. Talaga sinabi mo sa camera yun, no? Na mataba yung mukha ng boss mo. Para, hindi, comedy yun eh, di ba? So yung mga ganon. So, tas yun, umabot yata yun ng 800,000 views. Tas nag-spike talaga yung walk-in nung tao sa barbershop. Tas ginawa din namin yun sa coffee shop. So parang just having a partner that is super into content, that is passionate about whatever it is that you will create, ang grabe yung free marketing and free mileage that your business will naturally generate. So that's something that founders here might want to think about.
And I just like to add to that, no? Parang, kasi when you talk about influencer marketing or, working with content creators, you'd think na, hey, I need a lot of money, right? But now, I mean, when we started back in 2018, there were just bloggers. Bloggers lang, yun nga, celebrities. But now, there are a lot of grassroots content creators there who talk about, or parang who's really interested about a certain topic. And if they like something, they're going to create content about it. So you can also look at nano and micro influencers, have like XDL or collaborations with them. And I think with the algorithm now of social media, as long as the content is, really good, right? Your brand has always a chance for it to, go viral. I mean, let's just use the word viral, or for people to see it more. So I think that's just something also that, founders here can remember. You don't need to have like really huge budgets to create or really to find your own niche community online. But you just really need to, as Apple said, no, parang infinite ideas, and at the same time leveraging off the different content creators that are available now in the market.
Actually, Clary, sorry, kakat kita, pero I want to give you a classic example. Kasi when we were starting the new channel, lahat talaga partnerships. So I wanna actually champion what Carlo just mentioned, that you leverage on the partnerships. Pero may note din ako, ingat din kayo sa partnerships. Kasi hindi lahat ng partners magiging okay. So lagi talaga yung sinabi ko na, whatever it is that you're igniting with a partner or with someone else, just make sure that you see yourself into that. If you go through the 4-year content of the new channel, you don't see me on the first 2 years. And that's actually the magic of, I feel that that's the magic of it. I was behind the camera the whole time. And kung si Carlo pangarap niya maging magkaroon ng barbershop nung bata siya, ako naman gusto kong maging director. So I was playing director from day one until now. But I had to challenge myself to be coming out already, because there was a time when all the people that you see on TNC are already became more relevant in their industries or in their fields, because we helped them already create content of their own for their marketing purposes with a very, very limited budget. And these are people that are not just in the Philippines. They're all over the world. There's only one word that I tell everybody at the time. If you want to go global, I'll sign up with you. If you don't, forget about it. If you don't see yourself doing this in the next year, we're not gonna talk about it. So, but there was a time also that you have to become the influencer yourself. Kasi for you to be able to tell the world that, hey, I'm serious about this, there has to be a serious face also. I'm not saying that they're all jokers, ha. Kaya lang kasi, syempre, they're not talking about what the channel has to be. So I was kind of forced to be out and to be interviewing people also, and to really be coming out as TNC. But you just have to put limitation to that as well. Thank you.
Right. And I think what we can pull from that series of conversation is that for any partnerships, including influencers, because at the end of the day, influencers are essentially partners of our businesses that are creating content on behalf of us. It's very important for us to make sure that we align in terms of the values of the company, right? Now, let's steer the conversation towards content creation, right? How can startup founders validate their content ideas? Or, better yet, the question could be, paano ba tayo mag-generate ng content ideas that would create value for our audiences? Because at the end of the day, it all goes back to our audiences, right? So let's start with, siguro for this one, let's start with Anna muna.
Well, I think now people are more, or consumers are more intentional on how they consume content, right? Life is very fast-paced as we know it. And when we started out during the pandemic, no, parang most of the time, how our brands would work with creators is like, oh, you know, you just have to promote this and then, you know, talk about more our brand. Now it's all about how you seamlessly integrate the brand into the daily lives of these creators. So our goal in Encircle is really to find those parang individuals that align with our brand's values. And I think that's really the winning formula because at the end of the day, authenticity is still gold. I mean, that's something maybe that we've been hearing for a long time, but it's really how you win on social media, diba? I think I'll keep it at that first and then I'll jump in later.
Sure. Carly would like to add in something?
Create content na gusto talaga ng audience ninyo. So you have to interview and talk to them kung ano ba yung content that they find value in. Take a look at what works and what doesn't work. Double down on what works. Stop doing what doesn't work. Diba? And constant, and yeah, that's constant experimenting. Then I guess you'll eventually come up with your own like living content playbook for your business. Kasi iba-iba pwedeng B2B negosyo ninyo, di ba? So pag B2B, very different yung content. Mas relevant yung long form kesa yung short form. Kasi people want to go deep into the discussions. So it doesn't apply lahat, kumbaga na silver bullet yung short form or low attention span. Kasi there are some businesses na sobrang critical yung long form discussions. So doon pwede ka mag-invest in a nice podcast. Diba, set up, tapos shoot nyo.
You just have to vet which channel diba, is the right channel for those long form.
Tapos pwede upload. Actually, ako pa nga, style ko, upload ko sa lahat. Kasi mabilis lang mag-upload eh. So upload mo na lang sa lahat, tapos tignan mo kung saan pumatok. Diba? Kasi, for example, we just did an experiment of uploading like 5 to 10 minute videos on TikTok. Kasi akala ko, it won't work eh. Oh, ang taas ng views. So apparently, nagpo-push si TikTok ngayon ng longer form content kasi they want more longer duration on the app.
And landscape.
Yeah.
Landscape
so parang
videos.
those are things that you wouldn't find out if you don't constantly like experiment. Which again brings me back to my point earlier. When I said partner with a content creator, I didn't mean just hire a content creator. That can be a strategy. Hire a content creator that you do business with. When I said partner with a content creator, kung meron kayong mahanap na content creator that has business acumen, that has following, that's passionate about your business and whatever it is you're building, literally get them to invest in your business and be business partners. Kasi pag ganun, lahat ng gagawin niya, parang libre na. Di ba? Kasi parang ako, pag kinukuha nila ako minsan, pag nag-invest ako, kunyari, tapos, syempre, it's to my interest na maging successful yung negosyo. Di ba? Why wouldn't I promote the business that I invested in? Why wouldn't I give so much more mileage to a business where I have upside kesa sa isang negosyo na wala akong upside, di ba? So I really feel like in setting up startups, ang laking bagay if you have someone on your team that can do that for you. Di ba? To give you all of that free mileage. And at the same time, that person has the know-how of how content works. So you don't have to keep guessing na. So, yun, masarap pag-isipan yun. For the founders in the room, you might want to consider not me, ha? Makikisip ka, binibenta ko sarili ko.
Kaya pa ng business.
pero yung point ko lang, di ba? Ang laking, kasi it worked for us talaga. Nagkataon lang na...
Creator brands now, di ba? Parang Kim Kardashian for Skims, Kylie Jenner's cosmetic line. I mean, these are all personalities. But tama si Carlo, they need to be aligned with your values, Correct. They have business acumen, and they need to genuinely like your product or your brand. Correct. But, yun, look at what type of content they're doing and what they're talking about, and then maybe, approach them, and you never know.
On the point of making content, we put up Unbox Content Studios. The original intent of that, initially, was to service brands as a production agency. Ending, yung ginagawa na lang ng studios na yun, lahat ng content namin for our brands. As in, we've limited the number of business that we serve outside our own companies. Naging in-house na lang siya just to service the volume of content that we need to pump out. Kasi the more content we pump out, the more revenue we generate. So it just made more sense na bakit ko pa ibibigay yung resource na to where I invest so much of my time and effort in building in the best practices to other people. When I could just harness all of that and just do it for my brands and my businesses, diba? So that's also another tactic you can take a look into, diba? So putting up your own production capability.
Sige, Apple?
Yeah. Me naman, siguro because we're the new channel nga, no? Parang essentially we're really and literally in search for things that are new. So kami, ganun kami. We don't really stop evolving. Even if you look at the way we do content on the new channel, it has changed. We probably changed. Andito ba yung mga ibang gumagawa namin? So mag-agree sila that every video that we create on our own, every interview, like for example, every interview requested for me, I try to make it different. Kasi I feel that you follow already content creators that following as a particular format. Now, because the context of what we're doing is to really go global, dapat you keep evolving, you keep changing. So yeah, you might have a startup and then you're creating this, but within that concept that you have, there has to be evolution lagi. Otherwise, mahuhuli ka yun kasi. But probably because the channel is also an alternative new media platform in the first place. So hindi talaga siya pwedeng stagnant siyang puro nagsusulat lang, stagnant siyang puro ganito lang. So I think that's also one thing, no, that and I'm sure because most of you are young people, try to enrich that within you. For the lack of better term, and I hope walang hindi nakakaintindi ng Tagalog dito, wag tayong tamarin mag-isip. No, kasi that's gonna be the culprit of when ayaw mo nang gawin yung ginagawa mo pag tinatamad ka nang mag-isip. So that's very important in your business. And even with those people that you interact, if you want to create content with a collaborator, or if you keep creating content on your own. So importante talaga yon that you keep looking out for things that are new. So sa amin yun yung challenge. Kasi kailangan namin gawin yung mga bagay na hindi pa namin masyadong nakikita sa iba. So it's always a challenge, but we like being challenged, no? Because that's something that really excites us, and those people who also partner with us look for something like that. And so, pag meron kaming opportunity, we're able to also create new business vertical from there. Kasi nga, we're always parang a catalyst of new things.
Right.
Yeah.
And these are all fantastic recommendations. But if I might add one thing, I'd like to share then sa mga startup founders here that we can use the most basic startup advice, which is go back and talk to your customers. Ask what they usually want to know, the questions that they have. Spend time on Reddit, spend time on Facebook groups. Look at the usual comments and questions and conversations that are happening on those community. Now, for the rest of the time that we have, let's talk about the future of marketing. Our team at SearchTech AI is currently working on a white paper analyzing the trends here in the Philippines relating to AI. And we have found that across 14 million searches happening every month, 14% of that is related to using or looking to apply AI in marketing. And the biggest chunk of those searches are related to content creation. Blog writing, content writing, image, and video generation. So now, in the future, right, wherein almost everyone is using AI to create content, how can you make your brand stand out? So let's start perhaps with Apple. Or any one of you guys who would like to share their insights.
Sa'yo na po tayo mahirap na tanong.
Okay, akin lagi. Seniority ba? Sige, what's the future of marketing?
Yeah.
I'll tend to that, no? And then, what's the contribution of AI towards that? I just recently got the franchise, and I'm the country partner or country franchise holder of Karaoke World Championships. So this is a more than 22-year-old KWC music festival all over the world. I recently just came from Finland to represent the Philippines, and not to sing, but to become, the representative of the Philippines.
Sample.
And I wish he's here. So our champion is in Cebu. Shout out, John Francis. So I think the future of marketing, because of that immersion to the business of music, is music, I'd say. The future of marketing in the Philippines and even in the world is music. You know why? Because in the Philippines, we have lost a few news networks, we have lost a few TV channels, but the radio stations are still there. Spotify is doing great. And I've seen this also firsthand abroad. Music is life, and music is going to stay forever. So I see that if you are into that, I think there's really a big future for you. And marketing in the Philippines is beginning to get into that as well, if you're seeing the trend. So even the brands, the concerts right now in the Philippines are already branded. Hindi na siya yung mga dinadala na lang dito. Watsons is already doing their own concerts, and so many other brands as well. So marketing, I see that could be the future. But in general, even in content creation and in the Philippines and in the whole world, I think the future is digital. It's still gonna stay. And we're very lucky in the Philippines because I've seen this also firsthand. I've been to at least 3 countries where I spoke and I represented the Philippines this year. I've seen them talk a lot about AI, and AI is always about going digital, right? And we are in the Philippine setting though, we're still a bit hesitant to get into that, really. For so many reasons, of course, no. Like I was just talking to someone in the BPO industry yesterday, and I said, you know, the reason why we couldn't adopt that right away is because of the unemployment rate. You guys have to realize that. So this is a call to action also to everyone who start up here or getting into that kind. Look into that because that's a big problem in our country. And any startup idea sana that we're doing is to create more impact and better Philippines. Right? So while the future is digital, we also have to realize, and since the future is digital, we also have to realize how lucky we are, you know, that we are the social media capital of the world. I just said I came from Finland this year. I went to Singapore. I went to other countries also last year. And I realized, you know, kahit sa kanila yung platform, hindi nila masyadong na-optimize. As opposed to here in the Philippines, we use each platform for business. Nakakabenta tayo sa social media, may negosyo tayo sa social media, and most importantly, social media is free. So it's important for us to realize that since digital is the future, it's free. Let's use it responsibly. Thank you.
Right. Let's just have Anna and Carlos share their insights on the future of marketing before we head off.
Yeah, I think so. Last year alone, we worked with over 4,000 influencers. We launched over 175 campaigns across different industries. And what we noticed, after each year is really the amount of analytics and insights that we were able to gather across consumers, And these are insights that can really help brands, customize how they talk to their audience on a day-to-day basis. And I think the future of marketing will be very, very data-driven, but at the same time, highly personalized. So what do you say when it's, data-driven but highly personalized? So here is where we leverage off on tools, on AI tools or innovations and technologies that can help us be more strategic on, where we place our money on, which creators to work with, which platforms we should be present at. And it becomes more pointed to the messaging that we want to land. It's definitely going to be community-driven. And lastly, it's going to be, it'll prioritize our consumers. So consumer first. And that's where what Clary said comes in, that you need to also go back to where your customers are really looking at. Not just on Reddit, not just on Twitter, not just in the, on comment section, but actually like review areas on Lazada, on Shopee, or in different, let's say, marketplace. So you look at those conversations, those insights, and bring them together to, have that humanized approach to how you create content and how you talk to your audience.
Thank you so much, Anna. Let's just have Carlo.
How future gusto mo? Like far, far future?
Perhaps let's limit to the next 5 years.
Oh, mas exciting yung, I think, yung after 5 years. Eh. Sige, I'll give na lang, kasi I think more or less you guys have an idea naman about how live selling is a big thing, di ba? How the creator economy, feeling ko naman gets na nila yun. Eh. So, I'll go beyond 5 years, okay lang? So, para lang exciting, para kakaiba naman yung pag-usapan natin. So, my bet is really on shared economy. More than 5 years from now. And when I say shared economy, ibig sabihin yan, you really get to unlock the full potential of Web3, blockchain, a lot of the things that a lot of people feel sometimes are scammy, but in reality, it can be such a powerful thing. Bigyan ko yung example. I play card games. Yung mga Magic the Gathering, mga Flesh and Blood, Pokemon, that's my passion. Nung bata ako, hindi ko afford yon. Ngayon na medyo matanda na ako at may pera ko, kung may tournament sa Barcelona, lilipad akong Barcelona dahil may pera na ako. Dahil gusto ko maglaro, di ba? Tapos tatalunin ko yung 12-year-old kid sa Pokemon, parang ganon, di ba? So I'm super passionate about that space. So may mga Web3 games na ngayon sa digital na you own the card because of blockchain technology. You literally own the card, the digital card. You own it. Tapos tumataas yung value niya based on a global marketplace. So, dito kasi sa Pilipinas, magbebenta ka ng card, literally maghahanap ka ng Pinoy, uy, gusto mo bilhin to, tas pabarating ka pa ng Pinoy, di ba? Sabihin nila, pwede ba, 50 pesos na lang yan, kung kailan 150 siya, di ba doon? Pero because of the global marketplace, you can sell anywhere and everywhere, di ba? And as the game creator, every time sabihin natin may nabibenta, they get a piece of the pie. Parang ganon. So that's one example. Another example is there are customer acquisition tools on Web3 that are so powerful these days. Yung tipong may onboarding, may guild na magtitrain, you onboard yung customer, tuturuan paano laruin yung game. I mean, there's so much innovation happening in the Web3 space that is so futuristic that sometimes you feel like, pwede ba mangyari yun talaga? And I feel like what I mentioned kanina, diba, you have to live in the future to be successful. So when you see that, then you kind of get a glimpse of what the world can be 5 to 10 years from now. And pag na-realize mo how profound the impact of Web3 and blockchain can be in one's life once it gets massively adopted. And I'll put a stake on the ground kasi Trump won eh. The US kasi really dictates a big part of what Web3 and blockchain can be. I hate to talk politics, but the guy won. And he's one of the most pro-blockchain crypto candidates ever. I'm blown away kasi I tell this story to a lot of people. Way back in 2012, I was invited to review an app na Web3 and a blockchain. Thus, I was paid with 1 Bitcoin for that service. This was in 2012, 2013. Tapos nakalimutan ko na yung password ko sa app na yun. Tapos nung sumipa siya ng 600,000, 700,000 pesos per Bitcoin, naalala ko. Tapos tinignan ko, meron ako sa 600,000, 700,000 out of nowhere, di ba? Up to this day, hindi ko pa ginagastos yun. And we invested more and more and more into Web3. Every time bumabagsak yung market, yung extra money namin, kung extra lang naman, the money you can afford to lose, we put it there. Bitcoin is at almost $90,000 today. It is the single best investment I have made in my entire life. Period. Like if I were to put the X% returns, so para sa akin, yun yung what the future can be. It's shared economy, it's shared prosperity, shared technology. And if we get there, and you have to learn how to play in that field, so that when it happens, you're prepared.
These are very interesting takes. For sure, we can have hours and hours of conversation about this. But fortunately, we have the chance to talk to Carlo, Edna, and Apple dito sa babaan natin. But for now, think whatever is the future of marketing, always babalik yan sa data, right? Using data to iterate any marketing strategies that we are implementing. So I'd like to thank our panelists for this afternoon for having a very good conversation about the future of marketing. So thank you, everyone.
Huge thank you again to our last set of panelists for that very meaningful and engaging conversation. A quick photo op for the 4 of you, please, before we let you go.